right now we're going to consider directing documentaries. And like we did in the first class on music videos, there are steps here, all right, for directing documentaries, things to consider. Just very major things to consider. Okay, number one, we have choose and tell a story you are passionate about. Choose and tell a story you are passionate about. Then number two, research. You have to carry out research on whatever topic or whatever story you want to do a documentary on. Number three, create a plan. Create a plan, okay? And before, create what I call a docu-list. I will explain that as we go ahead, as we continue. Create what I call a docu-list. And number five, well, that's where the work is, okay? Shoot until you are done. Okay, then number six, write a script to fit in with the footages. And number seven, the last but not the least here, edit and distribute. All right, I may not talk about the distribution here because it's more of a business thing, okay? But let's just see this. All right, so that's that. Let me ask you this question. Do you write a script for a documentary before you shoot, or do you shoot before you write a script? Which do you do? Okay, I know I can't see you. Sorry, I can't hear you, but you can't give me the answer right now. But just, okay, I'll tell you what the answer is as we proceed, okay? So, number one, choose and tell a story you are passionate about. See, passion is everything. Passion is everything because if you're not passionate about something, the interest for you to carry on with that thing will not be there. Okay, love is love because it's passion, you know, it gives you something to want to live for or die for. I'm talking about true love, okay? So that's the power of passion. And passion finds expression in everything and in anything, okay? So even with documentaries, the first step is for you to choose and tell a story you are passionate about. That's number one. Choose and tell a story you are passionate about, okay? You start with a topic you are passionate about because if it doesn't interest you, chances are it will slow you down, okay? And you may not continue if you meet challenges on the way. So it's very, very important that you choose a story that you're passionate about. Take, for instance, if you are passionate about a certain breed of animals, okay, you may decide to want to do a documentary on them. Take, for instance, birds. Maybe a certain species of birds, okay? Or maybe a particular set of animals. If you like animals, you could want to do that. If there's a particular story or trend in life that you consider very passionate about, it's very important for you to pick that because it's something that will sustain your interest. I tell you, if there's no passion, then there will not be direction, okay? But where there is passion, then there must be direction, and it starts with what? You being passionate about that very story or that very topic. And now, having considered that story or topic of passion that gives you the drive, then you have to carry out research on it. You see, directors are not lazy people. If you meet most directors, there are people who are always willing to work, okay? They are always working and of course resting too, because if you work and don't rest, I tell you the truth, you may break down one day. You may be on set and just break down, and then, but the show must go on. I hope you know that, okay? So, but it's very important for you to carry out the work of researching on the story or that very topic you're passionate about. Make sure you ask the what, the why, the who in the cases of characters, when, and all that. Just make sure you ask those salient questions that most researchers ask in carrying out their research, all right? Having done that, okay, why do you need to research? You need to learn everything You can about your chosen subject. Okay, this is because the storylines sometimes are not obvious or may not always be. So it is from your research that you are going to connect or write a script, okay, from. And so if you don't know anything, you cannot write anything. And if you don't write anything, you cannot show anything. Okay, because you will rather than direct your people or your audience rather to where they should go to, you will mislead them. But that's not who directors are, as like the name entails, director. Someone who directs you somewhere. He carries you somewhere. All right, it's very important that you understand that. So that's why you need to carry out research. All right, gather enough facts and leads on interesting characters of your story. Take for instance, if it has to do with people, make sure that the characters of the docu-story are there. So gather enough facts about them and it will form the lead for that, all right? The next one says create a plan. Create a plan. Planning is very important, and for directors, you know, attention to details matters a lot. If you don't give attention to details, there's every tendency that you might make certain mistakes that you didn't plan for. Okay, so why do you need to carry out a plan in preparing for your documentary? Okay, like it's very important because you prepare ahead. You are one step ahead of the game so that in case anything happens, it won't catch you by surprise, all right? So you make an outline of how you want the documentary to be by asking important questions such as, how do I tell the story, my story? How do I tell my story? It's about your narrative now. That's what documentary is about, okay? Because there's every tendency that some people or some other persons may have done a documentary on that very topic you are interested about. But now your approach may be different and catchy at the same time. So how do I tell my story? Then the next one is, what should the plot be like? You see, storytelling is about plot actually. If there is no plot in storytelling, you only have an audience that you have confused as the storyteller. So it matters a lot that you have a plot. Okay, how will the story start? How will it rise to the climax? And then how will the story be resolved? You ask yourself that, all right? Then has anyone done a documentary on this subject before? If yes, find out to what extent, all right? You find out, okay, what did the person do? What did the person not do? And with that, you can take your journey from there. Then how do I tell this story in a different and more interesting way? It's you answering these questions. These questions, you would list them out and then you ask these questions because if not properly planned, I tell you the truth, you might not really achieve that very goal you set out to achieve. And with directed, you don't say, okay, well, let me just go on, because it's quite tasking. You pay a whole lot, you pay for a whole lot. Maybe if you're renting your cameras, you're renting equipment and all that. You don't want to go back again. You have to make sure you are on point. Make sure you are on point, all right? So what are the elements of this story that are intriguing? Find out. What are the elements of this story that are intriguing? You see, those elements are what you'd want to show in the documentary. If the intrigue is not shown, is not revealed to the audience, is not transmitted to the audience, there's every tendency that you might lose your audience. And nobody wants to lose his or her audience because you need them as much as they do need you, all right? So having done that, you answer the questions. That becomes the plan, okay? And then, you know, like a saying goes, who wants to build a house and does not sit down and count the costs? The cost is very important. Having done that, you create what I call a docu list. Is the next, all right? This list is more like a compass that gives a bearing, direction to where you are going with the project, you know? If you are going to a place you don't know, maybe you've been invited by a friend to come over to his place, and maybe that's your first time going to your friend's place. You ask, okay, for directions, right? You tell your friend, okay, how do I I get to your house. The friend tells you, okay, when you come to so and so place, you stop here, you pick maybe a cab from that place or a bike from that place to so and so place. He gives you the bearing so you don't miss your way. Create the docu list. It's the bearing, it's the compass, it's the direction to where you are going to. And as you do this by making a list of people you may need to interview. You make a list of people you may need to interview in the case of documentaries on people. Of course, you know you don't go that you want to interview animals. Hey, Mr. Lion, can I interview you? You know, something nasty will happen. Okay, you may not live to tell that story. Okay, but with people, you can interview them about certain, questions like those questions you wrote down during the plan and all that, during your research. So make a list of people you may need to interview. That is, if the project will require you to do that. You make a list of necessary questions for the project. Okay? If you are doing a documentary about a place, you want to find out the history about that place, how that place came to be. And then you meet the custodians of that place to find out about that place. Maybe a documentary about Oshodi. All right, Oshodi. You want to find out, you go, to different people, you ask questions. It's very important. All right, so having known that, you move to the next part. That's to say you have dealt with the pre-production aspect of your documentary preparation. Okay, then the next one is the production, the shoots. This is where the work is. Of course, I'm not trying to downplay point 1 to point 4. Okay, that's the foundation. And of course, in laying a foundation is work too. But the stronger the foundation, the better, or the stronger the superstructure. All right. So the shoot, I would say, is you putting blocks on the foundation you've laid. All right. So the shoot is more like you're creating the superstructure, which is you now putting in place all that you've done from point 1 to point 4. And okay, let's talk about the shoots. Like I said, in music video directing, this is where you work with your cast or your crew in this case, because your cast may just be the people you are working with. All right, those are your cast, but your crew majorly, because they are the ones you will use to get the vision, to get the job done. All right, and for me, like I said before, this is where you show respect for other specialists in their fields as you do the job. So you shoot, and you keep shooting until you have achieved what you set out to do. That is the documentary. If you've not achieved it, I'll tell you, keep shooting and keep shooting until it is done. It is not a wrap yet. All right. So having shot, or let me sound hilarious now, until you shoot to get the kill. If you've not gotten the kill, then just keep shooting, okay? Keep shooting to get the kill, all right? So you do this to determine to a large extent how you will shoot, all right? Even for the shooting, you determine, okay, how will I shoot? Okay, for this, what kind of shots will I use? Okay, that's where you talk with your cinematographer or director of photography. Okay, it helps because you want to know which shots will best tell the story you want to tell with the documentary. All right. Then the next one is write a script to fit in with the footages. Yeah, that's the question I asked. Okay, do you write the scripts like maybe for movies? Most movies, except in improvisations, most movies come with scripts first, all right? So, but documentaries are not like that. For documentaries, it is very important that you shoot the footages first before you write the scripts. The footages, the pictures you've garnered or gathered is what will form the material for your script. Have the footages, I tell you the truth, you will have nothing on paper. It's just like saying you want to shoot, take for instance, watching Nat Geo Wild is one of my favorite channels, all right? Because I love to see how animals display their intelligence and all that, how the stronger animals or the weaker animals escape from their predators, okay, because of their intelligence and all that. Maybe what they lack in strength, they make do, or they cover up with intelligence and all that. So take for instance, you're shooting film, a documentary about animals. You can't tell exactly some things about the animals until you have covered you've gotten enough footages about the animals. Okay, so that is it. It is very important. All right, so that helps, because if there's no scripts, if there's no footage or footages, there won't be a script. All right, then the last point here is edit and distribute. All right, so you do the editing, because that's the final work, that's the post-production. Okay, you edit your documentary, you make sure that yourself and the editor solves the puzzle of the footages. This is where it's like solving a puzzle. You bring one puzzle to fit into the other. That's like bringing the different clips, the different footages together to become a definite product that you can distribute to your audience. All right, so I believe I have helped you, okay? So let's just do a recap, okay? Directing documentaries. Choose and tell a story you are passionate about. Number 2, research. All right, carry out a research about the topic. Then number 3, create a plan. I hope you're following. All right, then number 4, create what I call a docu-list. Number 5, shoot. Remember I said shoot to get the kill, all right? Then number 6, write a script to fit in with the footages. And then number 7, edit and distribute. All right, that's about it. That's about that for directing documentaries. I hope you have gotten something today. So the next class the next one is directing adverts or advertorials. Hope to see you in the next class. Thank you. Welcome back. Okay, maybe it's the way I put it. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Okay, if you're ready, I'm ready. Okay. All right, welcome back. Yes, we've discussed directing music videos, we've discussed directing documentaries, and now we're discussing directing adverts. I want to believe you've seen as many adverts as you can imagine. So many adverts, very good adverts. What made you like the adverts? What's caught your attention to the adverts? What's made the adverts very interesting to you? Is it the music, the pictures, the story behind the advert and all that? These are very fundamental questions you need to ask yourself when it comes to directing adverts, because for directing adverts, you use there's a script already. It's not like the video where you have, that's directing music videos where you have the lyrics as the scripts. So directing adverts, let's go straight to the points. I have like 3 points or 4 points here. Know what an advert is about, team efforts, and then spec work. I will explain what that is, and then study other advert directors. I'll take that again. Know what an advert is about, team efforts, spec work, study other advert directors. Why do you need to know what an advert is about? You see, an advert is a special genre because it has to do with, it is directed for a purpose, okay? It's for sales, it's for marketing, and you have to put that in mind. If it's not there, then you're going to make a mess of the work. And remember, no company, no brand would want to pay you to some huge amounts of money for adverts just for you to make a mess of their brand. No, they won't do that. So you need to know what an advert is about. And what is an advert about? And every advert is is specific. It moves from general to specific. The script is scripted in such a way that it moves from general to specific. And then most good adverts are persuasive in nature. Then the third point is that every good advert sets to meet a need. If the advert does not meet a need, then it is not a very good advert. So if you are given a script, these are some of the questions you ask yourself, like, how do I ensure that, how do I tell the story that it moves from the general to the specific? How do I tell the story that it's in such a way that it is very persuasive? The next point is, okay, how do I ensure that this very brand I'm projecting in my directing meets the need of the audience? These are some questions you ask. And having done that, the next point is team effort. See, adverts, like every other form of directing, is about teamwork. Okay? This has to do with you working with the talents. If the story or the advert story has to do with people acting and all that. You know, some adverts, you may just maybe create animations. You may just use maybe the brand to tell a story without actors or characters appearing. Okay? In that case, you may decide to do what you want to do. But I'm talking about in the case where people are there, you use what? You work together with your team. It's about team effort, where you work with your crew as well. You're the gaffers, the lights people, the storyboarders, the script writers, yes, and then all different aspects of the production. You work with them, making sure that they are carried along to do what? To make the advert story specific, to make the advert story persuasive in nature, and to make the advert story to meet a need. Okay, having settled that, that's teamwork. Spec work is about how you develop as a would-be advert director. Okay, you know, you can't just go to a company and say, I direct commercials, I direct advertorials, all right, without you having spec. A spec is what have you done before, you know. So a spec has to do with maybe you picking a known brand. It could be, I don't want to mention any brand here, okay, but it could be any brand that you like. Can I mention a brand? So okay, I don't want to mention a brand. Okay, so fine, you could pick any known brand that you are passionate about, and then tell your own story, do an advert on that brand, okay, in such a way that it could beat even the ones you have seen previously about that brand. And that's the way you attract people's attention to you as a director of commercials. So you do as many spec work as you can. Okay, having done that, okay, you can begin to pitch your work. You take it to different brands, different companies, tell them, okay, this is what I do. Then you make a pitch about whatever it is you want them to, about the business aspects of the adverts. Okay, so, but that's not what we're discussing. That's not what we're considering today. You need to make a spec. That's one way you develop your stamina for directing adverts. Then the next point is study other advert directors. Okay, just like movies, okay, just like music videos, you need to study other adverts. But you may want to decide which of the types of adverts you want to do. Well, since we're discussing directing for adverts, we're talking about adverts for TV, adverts for video, adverts for internet. Yes, because before the internet, the TV was it, and it has to be very short and precise, but the internet has made it possible for us to have longer duration adverts. Okay, so that is just it. So you have to decide what you want to do with that. Okay, so study other advert directors. How do they understudy their style? When you know their style and you experiment with their style, it helps you to create your own style and to become a personality, you know, in that field which you've chosen. It's very important, you know. So as I round off, you need to network with these directors, because the arts business is a collaborative one. Nobody grows in isolation. You need to network with the people who do what you do, people of like minds, people who you can learn and then exchange ideas together. It's very key for all the genre we consider today. It's very, very important. But as I round off, I want to tell you that the best way to go about directing commercials is to direct as many commercials as you can. Okay, the best way to go about directing music videos is to direct as many music videos as you can. The best way to go about directing what's it called now, documentaries, is to direct as many documentaries as you can. I also want to tell you that the best way to be a director is to be a director. The best way to direct is to direct. You need to do it. The more you do it, don't get afraid. The more you do it, the more you grow. The best way to direct is just to direct. Okay? So I'm rounding off now, but I just want to pass a very, very short information to you. It's been a nice time with you. I've really enjoyed talking to you about this, what we studied today. But I just want to tell you that you need to practice. You need to make some videos, short videos, considering these three genres that we just understudied, okay, or that we studied together. It's very important. That's where you start from, okay? So I'm giving you an assignment to choose either of these genres, or possibly do all of them. And then I guess we'll see when we see. So thank you so much. Remember, okay, so okay. Thank you so much. Upload on your personal. Okay, on all your social medias. So you go edit them now, have you? Okay, media platforms. And don't forget to tag PFT. Okay, so I'll take that part again, Abi. So, is it still rolling? Okay, so like I said before, the best way to direct is to direct. So I want you to direct as many movies, as many videos you can, considering these genres we have considered today, we have studied. So having done that, you can upload them on all your social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and others. Okay, and do not forget to tag PFT. All right. Remember, I am Joshua Bassi, JB Praise Heart. All right, and I love you. Thank you.